A for loop may be more cryptic than a while loop, but one thing it does better is nesting. A nested loop is one loop inside of another. This concept may seem confusing at first, but it's one way that programs deal with data stored in a grid. This code contains two for loops, one inside of the other. The outer loop starts at line 8. It loops through the characters A through J, which is 1 less than K. So the value of character variable alpha is set to the big letter A. The loop continues while the value of variable alpha is less than big letter K, which ends up being the letter J. And while looping, the value of variable alpha is incremented. The effect is that alpha marches through the letters as an integer variable marches through numbers. Within the outer loop statements, you find another for loop. This is the nested loop at line 10. This loop uses the variable numeric, which marches through values 0 through 9. The loop has a single statement. This statement prints both the values of alpha and numeric. The \t in the printf function represents the tab character. When the inner loop is done, a second statement belonging to the outer loop executes. It sends a new line to output. You can see how indentation in this code helps keep its parts separate. The inner for loop and the putChar statement all appear at the same tab position. This type of formatting is optional in C, but it does make the code more readable. Build and run. And you see a table of lettered rows and numbered columns. Just for curiosity's sake, here is the same code written by using nested while loops instead of for loops. Because a while loop's overhead requires some extra lines, one to initialize the loop variable and another to alter it during the loop, the ending condition, this code is a bit more involved. Build and run. And the output is the same. It's your choice as a programmer whether to use a for loop or a while loop when you need to nest loops. And you can nest loops in C until your eyes cross, though after about 3 levels of coding, it can get pretty weird. I do recommend that you always use braces for the statements in nested loops, even when the loop has only one statement. That grouping helps you keep track of the loops in your code, and it makes things more readable for you as well as for other C programmers.